We're going to start with sort of the overarching question, which is the same question we've been asking since basically the middle of 2022, is will golf's Civil War ever end? Yes or no? Do you think it ends in 2025?
It does end with an asterisk, because by every measure, by my understanding, by your understanding, by most people who cover the game, it seems to me they're at least on the doorstep of the financial terms of what a deal would look like between the PGA Tour and the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. It's taken a year and a half plus to get here, but my understanding is we're somewhere close. Now, that being said, I was told all along that the financial version part of this deal was going to be the easier part. So that's not very encouraging. We won't have whatever the finished product's going to look like in 2025. They won't sit down at some point this year and lay out exactly how the two tours and how the players are going to come back together. But there will be, I hate to use this term because we've worn it out, there will be some sort of framework for how we can go forward. I will say this. I was texting just last week before the new year with a player from LIV Golf who was not in a very good mood at all. And I sort of texted them what I just said to you. And this player's response was, I don't know how we get there. And that is difficult for everyone to sort of wrap their mind around right now. And I get it. Look, we seem to have reached a point where we're just banging heads against the walls, but it is encouraging if we can reach the financial terms of this. It seems to me that both sides, just not the PGA Tour, but both sides decide that probably needs some sort of new leadership. We need fresh ideas. We need someone sitting at the table, maybe grown-ups at the table, for lack of a better word. Jay Monahan will no longer be CEO of the PGA Tour, although he's listed as commissioner. He'll serve on both boards. Greg Norman stepping down as CEO as LIV Golf. I think all of that is encouraging, but how long it takes to get there, it's going to be a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to go with yes. And I'm going to be slightly more encouraging, because once the financial component of the deal is announced, you have nothing else on the table except for figuring out a way that you can bring the LIV players back into the fold. Keep in mind, they announced, the PGA Tour did some pretty radical changes to the membership as late in the year as November. It really doesn't affect PGA Tour players if you come up with a way, say, giving sponsor exemptions to LIV players into signature events, or you're cutting some of the schedule, or you're going to have a rotating PGA Tour team in LIV events. I don't think with 10 or 11 months to sort of map out exactly how it could and should look, that's not totally unrealistic. I want to get to a point where 2026 is sort of ushering a new era in golf, where the schedule looks dramatically different, where all the best players are playing together again, where it's fun, it's innovative, it's inventive, it's sort of reinvigorating what has been a pretty stale product for a long time. I'm optimistic we'll get there. I'm hoping that's 2026, that there's sort of the big unveiling, but I sort of understand your skepticism as well, that it could take even longer.
And look, I feel like I'm being as optimistic as I can be. I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer here, but to the point that you just made, the financial terms, again, that was supposed to be the easiest part of the deal. Now the difficulty is not so much finding some sort of way to weave the fabric of professional golf back together again. It's to try to do that with hurt feelings on both sides. Now this is personalities. This is no longer just a numbers deal where we're trying to figure out, okay, is 10.8% investment okay, or 6% investment okay? This is about hurt feelings and friendships that are no longer friendships, and one side looking at the other side being like, no, they took their cake, they can't have it too. That's difficult to overcome.
Bitterness, resentment, jealousy, those are not good positions from which to negotiate.